Welcome to Billy Donovan's pregame media availability. We will get started with Joe Cowley.
Billy, how you doing tonight?
Good, Joe. How are you?
Good. Hey, we forgot to ask you yesterday. Everyone, all the tests, everyone's passed today. Everyone's doing good, and also, have Lowry or Arch given permission to say whether they have tested positive or if they are just still in contact tracing protocol?
Yeah. So everybody from last night is available tonight. No changes there. We're trying to work with the league. The medical people here with the Bulls are trying to work with the league to try to figure out a way that we can somehow get these guys in position that they can at least start to work out and start to, ramp back up, some things. They have not tested positive. They've had negative tests. That's not to say that something couldn't happen. Obviously, you want to be safe, but I think some time has passed by. I think, Joe, you mentioned to me maybe right before we left to go on this trip, the possibility of them joining us, that's probably not going to happen. So, what can we do going into next week where instead of having these guys then all of a sudden be out of protocol and now they can, start practicing, you're giving them one day before Boston where we've got some time right now. So we're trying to work with the league to figure out a way that we can get these guys back on the court, where maybe it's, by themselves, somehow doing something virtually to help them go through a workout, try to keep their conditioning up, try to keep their rhythm up basketball wise. So they're still in the protocols, but outside of Hutch and Sato, nobody's tested positive.
Thanks, Billy.
You're welcome.
Rob, go ahead.
Hey, Billy. Wanted to get your reaction to the events on Capitol Hill today and kind of ask what the conversations around the team kind of have been like throughout the day.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I didn't see it. I had heard about it and spoke to some of the coaches and some of the players. I'll leave those conversations, between us. Obviously, I think it just goes to show that we have still a long way to go as a country. Certainly extremely disappointing. With what took place. Again, I with the back-to-back and film staff meetings. Players, I haven't seen enough television or read enough, but obviously I was updated on the events by staff and coaches and players. And, we just, I thought the players in the bubble did a really, really good job just bringing awareness to a lot of the social injustice issues that we need to address and get better at. And I think this is a situation for me where, we've got to be better. And there's times I think we feel like we maybe make some steps moving forward. And there's other times things that happen here today, are disappointing, for our country. And it shows that we, still have a ways to go. And the only way we're going to move forward is if we move forward together. And, events like that don't allow us to do those things.
And a quick follow-up for me. I know you said you want to keep those conversations kind of in-house, so shoot this down if you need to. But were there any conversations about potentially not playing tonight or any potential demonstrations for the players during the game?
We never had those discussions.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
KC, go ahead.
Yeah, Billy, just one more on this subject from me. You mentioned the experience you had in the bubble. I mean, these are obviously pretty extraordinary events that our country is living through. Do you ever feel the need to proactively address situations like this with a team, or is your philosophy to kind of follow the players' lead? Obviously, you had a player very prominently involved with Chris Paul, being so outspoken. So what's your personal philosophy on that as far as how to handle within the team?
Yeah, I'm just a big believer you have conversations. I don't think you can move forward without conversations. I think all of our life experiences are all different. We all come from different backgrounds, grew up differently, different environments. And you've got to come to a place where you have discussions. There's a lot more I want to learn, things I need to improve upon, things I need to get better at. I want to learn, want to listen. Everybody's experiences. I think being in the game of basketball, as long as I've been in it, I was aware, of a lot of the things that, go on, in terms of people being pulled over, Black people being pulled over by the police for no reason. conversations that adults have to have, with their children about if they do get pulled over, how they have to deal with that, how they have to handle that. I've never, ever had a conversation like that with my kids, other than just be respectful. But there's two totally different perspectives of what somebody's experienced. And I think that unless you have conversations and talk about it, you cannot understand, other people's experiences. So I think it's important to talk about. I think there's important to find ways that, we can all help, make the country better, make these issues better, help the country move forward together as one. But I don't think you can do that without discussions. And I think the discussions are important. For me as a coach, I'm not looking to necessarily make anybody feel uncomfortable or wanting to put someone in a situation they feel like they have to talk about it. But I do want to have discussions where we do talk about these things and how we can help. And to your point, being with Chris Paul, who's the president of the Players Association, and what the players did in the bubble in terms of bringing awareness to a lot of these social injustice issues and listening to people's experiences and talking about those things, it brings to at least a point where you have an understanding of what somebody has been through. And, Mo Cheeks has got an incredible story. It's a sad story, and he's the greatest guy in the world. And to have him go through that, and I just don't think anybody in our country should, in 2021, should be living in fear. That's the unfortunate part. So I think the discussions are important. You have to have it, and you have to listen. And I think that's really important, is to listen and to hear and to try to understand.
Thanks for that, Billy.
Yep. Thank you.
Are there any other questions for Coach Donovan tonight? Doesn't look like it. All right. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys.